Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I would like to gift my book, The Golden Key, Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance to you at goldenkey.gift, where you can get the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD at checkout.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I am super grateful that you've joined me today on this beautifully magical today. Today, I want to address a couple questions. One that came through my website and one that I happened to notice on the Positive Head Facebook page. The first question was about self-hypnosis and if that is possible. The other question was about what is a QHHT session like? And I'm not sure if I actually talk about that a lot. I know I talk about QHHT all of the time, but I'm not sure if I actually talk about what the experience is like for the client. And so I'll get into a little bit of that today. First, I want to address the self-hypnosis. All hypnosis is self-hypnosis. All healing is self-healing. That may sound a little strange, that may sound a little simple, but that is actually the truth. Healing only happens when we allow it, when our spirit allows it. And so there are many healers and people who offer healing opportunities out there, but our spirit has to decide that it's appropriate and okay for us along our journey. Because there's certain things that are present because we're supposed to learn from them. We're supposed to understand them. And so they're going to stick around until we get our lesson. So healing is only appropriate once that happens, once our lesson is learned, once the message has been received. And how do we get these messages? We get these messages by listening to ourselves, by trusting our own inner guidance, by listening to our intuition, our higher selves, our inner being. We have all of these answers within us, but what we do is we hear them and doubt them, or argue with them, or completely ignore them altogether. So we do a lot of different things as humans, but those answers are always, always there. We have to train ourselves and practice to listen. We've all been bombarded by this programming in our world that tells us that this stuff is magic and not true and you can't do it. Not true. It is very, very simple to get quiet in your mind and ask yourself a question. And so what I mean by self-hypnosis, always hypnosis being self-hypnosis, is that you have to allow yourself to go into this state. You need to allow yourself to relax, open your mind, go with the flow. That's really all hypnosis is. It's a deep state of relaxation. We often think of hypnosis as what we see on stage. That's completely different than what I do and what this QHHT technique is, and very different from this healing hypnosis in general. That is a very suggestive technique, and that is something that maybe only 20 to 30% of people can actually do, to drop into that state. It's not very common to be able to just do that. So 80% to 70 to 80% of people are not going to be able to just unconsciously go into that state. So what happens is, in a QHHT session, most people, and in my experience, I'm going to say at least 95 to 98% of people are very, very much aware of what is going on in their session. Because this is more like a deep state of relaxation than you being on stage, not knowing what's going on, and something happening that you're unaware of. Not what happens. Not what happens pretty much ever. It's very, very rare that I see a client who doesn't remember most of their session. When I wake them up, they only remember the first 10 minutes. That might happen 2 or 3 times a year. The majority of the time, most people are very consciously aware. What I explain to my clients is we have a brain. It has 2 sides. We cannot shut one off. The brain needs to work to keep us alive. So what we do when we go into a deep state of relaxation or a hypnotic state, we just quiet that left side, that conscious mind side, that logical side, that analytical side. We quiet it, but it doesn't mean that it goes away. It's still there. And then what's beautiful about it is that we get to consciously decide to ignore it and to pay attention to the other side, which is the imagination and where the pictures are. So this is all about focus. It's all about intention. The intention when you are going into any kind of state like this is very important. The intention and the allowing, and then the visualization. So simple to get into this state. So think of it just like a meditation. To do self-hypnosis, you want to get in a nice, relaxed state. Then you want to start visualizing. You want to activate that right side of the brain because that's the side where the intuition comes through. Very simple. It's also the side where the imagination is, so allow your imagination to just go. You will find so many answers there if you just allow it. And so it's very simple to breathe, to visualize, and to allow yourself to sink deeply into just a deep state of relaxation. Many of us don't realize that we are in a hypnotic state throughout the day, different states of hypnosis. We have different brain waves that we cycle throughout the day, whether we're awake or sleeping. But when we're awake, there's different states that we can be in. For example, if we're watching television, if we are driving a car, often we slip into a hypnotic trance-like state and we're not really aware of it. This is a very light trance state. You're very conscious in this state, but it is also a hypnotic state where you are very suggestible. So throw in those commercials in there and that'll give you something good to think about, right? Interesting. We are naturally in this state twice a day. The state that we go into during QHHT, this deep state that I guide people into and that practitioners guide people into. Naturally, twice a day. It's the in-between. It's that state that you're in right before you fall asleep and right before you wake up in the morning. Naturally, in this state twice a day, everyone does it. Everyone does it naturally. So it's very easy to enter this state because it is just a natural physiological process. So the only reason why people have a hard time doing this type of technique is because there is an expectation around what it is supposed to be like. Many people think that they're going to be put out and not have any idea what's going on and something is going to speak through them, and that's what it's like. And it's very far from that. Very much aware, just like you're very much aware in meditation. But you're also hearing this subtle voice, possibly, depending on how long you've been practicing. That subtle voice is the one that gets louder when we go into a deeper state of trance. And like I said, this state is very easy to get into, whether you do it on your own or whether you have a guide. Now, in my experience, doing it on my own works very well. At the same time, when I have a guide, I go deeper. And that feels different. And what's nice about that is that my conscious mind doesn't need to be as present to be asking the questions. And that's why I go deeper. Because when you can allow your conscious mind to really just go away and shut up, then your right brain or your intuitive side can get even louder. And so that's very beautiful. It's nice to have a guide to be able to do this. Once you've done this with a guide and had this experience of what it is like to listen to your higher self so clearly, then it is definitely easier to do on your own. Humanly, we doubt and doubt and doubt, and we don't understand. And oftentimes people come to me and they say, I'm blocked from my higher self. And I say, you are absolutely not. That doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a block to your higher self. Get that out of your vocabulary. There is no such thing as a block to your higher self. What we have is a simple misunderstanding, a doubt, and just complete not wanting to listen to it, or the arguing. That is what is actually present. This block that you think is a block is really just your conscious mind being a bully, getting in the way. So there's where the block comes in. It's the conscious mind getting in the way. That's all it is, though. There's no block present. It's just you misunderstanding. Once you can just let it all go, then there's no such thing as quote unquote blocks.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsor, Athletic Greens. I recently went to a naturopathic doctor who did some testing and determined I was having issues with gut health. So when I had the opportunity to start taking Athletic Greens, I jumped at the chance. With 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins and minerals, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. It not only helps with your gut health, it helps your nervous and immune systems, energy levels, and more. And since it contains super high-quality ingredients in powder form, it has a very high absorption rate, whereas many pills don't. With just 1 scoop in a cup of water, you can arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition for less than $3 a day. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give Positive Head listeners a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D, which many people are quite low in, as well as 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/positivehead. Again, head over to athleticgreens.com/positivehead to take ownership over your health today.
Because let me tell you what I mean by let it all go. What it feels like in a QHHT session, and this is across the board for I'm going to say 99% of people, I mean maybe even 100. What it feels like is that you are making it up, that you are just imagining things, that it's completely ridiculous, that none of it makes any sense at all. All of that is true. All of that is what you will experience in the beginning of your session. What's really cool about that is that you have to just be okay with it being ridiculous, with it not making any sense, and with you feeling like you're making it up. That is how you're going to get your answers. Because humanly, we don't understand. We have no idea. We don't get how they're speaking to us. It's all symbolic. It doesn't make any sense. And so when they're showing us these certain things, we're trying to, in our conscious mind, because it's still present, figure it out. Like, what is this? Why am I being shown this? This doesn't make any sense. I feel like I'm making this up. This looks like a cartoon. I mean, there's a million different conscious thoughts that will go through your mind when you're going through something like this. And you just got to ignore it. You got to ignore it and just continue to see what you are being shown. And when clients are able to do that, the answers that come through for the reasons why they were shown that specific thing are mind-blowing. And I have clients that are shown just 5 different completely ridiculous things, and in the end, those 5 things all are for the same concept. They intertwine. They're a different way to teach a same lesson, and they're all different puzzle pieces that fit together to show that client exactly what they need to understand for themselves on the rest of their soul journey. So incredibly beautiful. To me, this is the most valuable tool anyone can have, is to have this understanding of how to truly listen to yourself, to learn how to trust yourself, and to also know what it's like to listen to that inner voice. That inner voice is always telling you the truth, always guiding you in the right direction, always there, always protecting you, always loving you. You have access to this at all times because it is you, it is within you. All of the answers that you need are within you. The only reason why you feel like you can't get to them is because you are doubting or not trusting or simply maybe just plain old not listening. That can happen from just not paying attention. Start paying attention to all of the little things. Pay attention to your dreams, to your thoughts, to the little synchronicities around you. The entire universe is speaking to you. Your higher self kind of arranges these things for you so that you can understand. This design is so intricate and so incredibly beautiful, and so many of us are not paying attention. And it's so simple, it's all right in front of our faces. My clients get told this all the time. It is right in front of your face, and you refuse to look at it. And we refuse to look at it because we're scared. And that will just keep us in a hole and keep us stuck. So many of my clients' higher selves say that fear is an absolute illusion that is completely made up in your mind. There is absolutely nothing to fear. And to just do it. Don't get stuck. Move forward. Don't allow your fear to keep you back. We're all supposed to be here doing it. Just do it, they say. And when I say it like that, like they say, it's because they are the higher self is a they, their collective group soul, group mind. And I also hear the same phrases through many different clients' higher selves. The same exact phrases, like, just do it. And you are so very loved, and you are never alone. And when we can allow ourselves to just relax and allow our mind to just take us off on an imaginary journey, this is when we can allow ourselves, our higher selves, to speak through us more clearly and more loudly. All it takes is a quieting of that left brain, that conscious mind that's questioning and doubting and having all of those fears. There is nothing to fear when we go into this state. It is so simple and so loving and so incredibly beautiful to experience. And yes, you can have these experiences on your own. It takes practice in meditation to really get deep and deep enough and to allow yourself to just let your imagination run wild and to trust it, because it does feel like you are absolutely making it up. That's okay. We got to get over it. You know, I think about this piece all the time. The reason why sometimes we doubt it is because we hear psychics and clairvoyants talk about how they see things, how they hear things. And when they impart that message to the person that they're giving it to, they impart it with confidence and very clearly. And they say things like, I see this, I hear this. And so the way that we take that is that they're seeing this very clear movie-like picture in their head, or they're hearing very distinctly, clearly this phrase or whatever it may be. But that's oftentimes not the case. What these people have done is trusted themselves and learned to listen to the subtleties, learned that it comes through in this fuzzy picture that is in your mind's eye, that is not so clear, that you can almost feel more than you can see. And it may seem ridiculous and it doesn't make sense, but these psychics and clairvoyants who do this, for a living especially, have learned to trust that. And they've learned to trust that it's okay that it doesn't make sense to them. It's going to make sense to that person. And I'm just going to say whatever it is. I'm going to trust that very first thing that I see, no matter how ridiculous and no matter how much doesn't make sense to me. And it always makes sense to that person. But it was fuzzy and it wasn't super clear. It was subtle. But they trusted it and they said it with confidence. So it comes off to us as it's supposed to be loud and clear. Well, it's not. It's not loud and clear. It's super, super subtle. And we have to just allow ourselves to let it go and let it be that. It is never going to be a bright neon sign. I'm always saying this. I had a client come in and she wanted it that way. It doesn't come that way. It's subtle. We have to learn to trust ourselves and listen to ourselves in this way. I hope I answered both of your questions. If you guys have any more questions, I absolutely love answering questions. And now that I'm thinking about it, there's so much more to talk about. I'm going to quickly say There are many, many knockoff techniques to QHHT. What happens here is that people learn Dolores's technique, and then they start practicing it, and things kind of aren't going very well. And they think that, all right, let me change this part, and if I do this a little differently, then I can help people go a little deeper so they can get where they're supposed to get. All of us go through this. All of us practitioners kind of go through this. Well, maybe this part's wrong, and maybe if I change this. No. For myself, doing this for 9 years now, and going through that, and then coming back to learn how to really do it properly, I know that every single aspect of what Dolores Cannon put together is 100% genius. It works so beautifully on its own. It doesn't need anything else. And if you change it up, it's not going to work as well. And maybe I'll get into that another time. We shall see. In the meantime, if you are interested in becoming a practitioner and learning this technique, I have an amazing code to share with you guys. I'm so excited that I have it. It offers you 10% off the level 1 QHHT class, and that code is ONELOVE, all in capital letters, ONELOVE. You go to the QHHTofficial.com website and throw that code in, and it'll give you 10% off. So many of you I know are considering it, and I think your higher self is telling you, just do it. That's been the message lately. Just do it. There's nothing to fear. I know I feared a good amount going into this, actually. I was a little scared. I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. And as I learned, there's absolutely nothing to fear. There never is. I love you all so much. I'm going to leave you with a song for today. This is Sat Song, Remember Jah. Until next time, I love you all.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam 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 Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. They said it's time, and I know that without a doubt, the spirit in us, oh, what is trying to break out. But this is your time, this is my time to illuminate, cause we were made to shine. Divinity by law in our DNA. They lied but we saw truth anyway. This is divine recognition for this time of remission. Time change mission, said you have my permission to be your light, let no man dim. See your sight is not original sin. I said you came in the same way that you will go, and that's with love and with righteousness. Heed to the flow. But I heard it all before, yes, what the man said. Never held it in my heart, but I held it in my head, yeah. But then I saw that it isn't just suggestion, it's spiritual law. To love all, serve all, and remember Jah. And so we love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Love all, serve all, and remember Jah. And so we love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Now this is bliss that's what it is. So tell your parents and your kids that they should not miss. The time is now, the questions how we look for each other in answers. Singers and dancers will lead the way, been led astray, but now we have answered the calling, and Babylon is falling. Proud to be inside the flow that no man is stopping. I must stand tall. Kahu is watching, so is my family and so is my tribe. Mustn't seek vanity, must seek to be wise, must seek to be wise, yeah. But I heard it all before, yes, what the man said. Never held it in my heart, but I held it in my head. It isn't just suggestion, it's spiritual law. To love all, serve all, and remember Jah. So we love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Love all, serve all, and remember Jah. So we love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Spent years shouting off demands, but throwing my hands. At the time I couldn't even stand, but now I can. Why? And I do it with pride. Arms stretched out and I smile wide, hoping to receive what I am supposed to. Messages and lessons and transmissions as they come through. Dreaming on the daily of what will become. To the people on the planet, will they just stay numb? Or will they awake? For goodness sake, be careful what you take, cause there's life at stake. Calm and collected as I take my dive. Story planned out when the moment arrives. I said choices through voices, my spirit rejoices in moments like this. We feel life's kiss, wrapped up tight in her warm embrace. Love overflowing, no more rat race. These are the times we were meant to grow from. You say that it's beautiful, it takes one to know one. Made out of love, that's what you are. Made out of love, and you come from the stars. Made out of love, and you come from the stars. But I heard it all before, yes, what the man said. Never held it in my heart, but I held it in my head, yeah. But then I saw that it isn't just suggestion, it's spiritual law. To love all, serve all, and remember Jah. So we love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Love all, serve all, and remember Jah. So we love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Love all, serve all, and remember Jah. Om Gangadapataye Namaha.